IO is it's not necessarily the hero, they're the player playing IO. It's the whole entire team having that understanding of IO changes the entire way you play the game.
Yep, for sure.
And especially for the player that he's going to be playing around, you have to know when to man up, and you have to know how much, like, the hero becomes different. You're tankier, you do more damage, and, I mean, I thought that, all memes aside, that flag cannon attack tether combo was
Yeah, that
insane.
was some sauce. That was some Szechuan sauce right there. Special edition. You don't see that every day.
Limited time.
Yeah. I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, if you haven't noticed by now, by the way, guys, those of you watching, this is going to be more of a laid-back broadcast. Street clothes, chilling. Ideal here is to just think of us as your two of your bros chilling on the couch, watching some quality dotes with you. Gonna try and refrain from too much profanity. We don't want to insult anyone too heavily. It's a family-friendly stream. You know, it's Mother's Day. So all you guys out there, hug your moms. Make sure you call them. Tell them you love them. Mrs. Canavan, if you're watching.
Mama Slam Jana.
Mama Slam Jana. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed those petunias I sent you, and thank you once again for the meatloaf. It was delicious.
I'm never gonna live that down, huh? You just...
I don't know. You know, can you ask the Twitch chat if you guys are watching? Do you think I should obs this game, or would you like BSJ round 2? And then production's gonna look at that Twitch chat, and they're gonna make the decision for us. And this
10
is.
seconds remaining.
Be gentle, chat. If you want him to cash, just say, you know, Kyle might be a little bit better. BSJ gave his all.
OG's turn to pick.
Skywrath May.
And they immediately go with the high pressure lineup from IG again. And the Beastmaster is just so common now. The scariness in lane, and I think IG handled it pretty well last game. But Skywrath Mage, really nice kill combo with the Beastmaster. And now that like all the roaming is kind of dead because of the runes changes, Skywrath is just a hero that sits in lane and spams his Arcane Bolt. And that's really hard to deal with pretty much as any core in the game, I think.
Yep, I would agree.
Similar idea to what OG did last game. They picked the Beastmaster with the Leshrac, and in this case, the Skywrath doesn't offer the lane shove, but he offers that kill threat as well as the off-map presence and just the spam in lane. So it's really scary. Like immediately I look at this and I'm curious to see what IG chooses to ban. If they choose to go the same route that OG did, banning out these off-laners that don't mind getting roared, stuff like the Tidehunter and the Abaddon.
I don't think you fear them as much when you have Wisp, because you can just pretty much farm the map, and then you just don't care. Like, you're never forced to fight into a Tidehunter. It was a bit different when you were playing around like hero like Tiny, and Tide was just 1-to-1 super good against those heroes. Yeah. Very low armor. Like, you'd win the team fight, you could lane against them. But when you're playing against Lesh, it's just, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
They do ban the Tide from the side of IG.
I mean, I don't mind it, because at the end of the day, it just win the team fights. So.
And I think that IG, you see last game that the way they itemize, they just want to have a very straightforward way of taking fights, initiating with the LC, follow up with the Kunkka, relocate in with the Wisp Gyro. It's just very methodical every single fight. So having this Tidehunter doesn't mean they can't win fights. It just means that it's much more awkward, much less straightforward for them. I like the Nyx ban though. From OG.
I would make the same comment. I like it too.
And that probably implies they want to make it a core Lesh, right? They're probably not going to have a 5 position. They'll probably put on an S4 again.
I mean, we saw so much support Lesh in Thailand, but OG specifically is always picking core Lesh for the most part. And I think that that's the best place for it. It was just underutilized in that last game, but that was partly just due to the way that game went for OG. It wasn't ideal for them in any way.
So one thing I'm interested to ask you as someone who has a lot of experience in drafting, how big of an impact does the second ban phase swapping have?
I don't know if it's too critical, just because I don't know. I haven't played with it yet, right? Like, I haven't been drafting under this change, but I think the one that they changed the way the last ban worked in previous patches, where you could like ban to pick. I think that one's more important because it's like your last pick. You could just ban a counter pick immediately. As second pick, there isn't really anything. It's hard to say there's like one hero to remove that suddenly makes this hero more valuable when the enemy team has 2 more picks in that phase.
There's
like,
it's
very
just
more
niche
open
situations.
Yeah,
like very few.
Yeah, with the last pick, like there's very few directions you can go. It's like one role, one hero you're looking at. Whereas second phase, like usually the entire draft is open. Yeah. OG goes for the Witch Doctor, a hero I'm not a huge fan of, but it's seen a lot of success. Like the win rate's quite nice. Very good against Beastmaster in lane. You can sort of just, I think you end up skilling Mojo level 2 or level 3. You just sustain against the Sky Beast by a stick and just kind of keep heal on. You'll keep your core alive quite nicely.
Yeah, he kind of transitioned. In the past, he was always considered like the lane sustain hero, and he kind of transitioned to the Maledict damage kill potential on these tanky offlaners. But now with the Maledict nerfs, especially because, like you said, we see the lane coming out from IG, the high pressure, high harassing, and I agree. I think the Voodoo Restoration will be leveled up very early for that exact reason.
Totally unrelated, but do you remember we have Chipotle? Like, I didn't actually eat my burrito. You forgot, didn't you?
No, I didn't forget. It was one of those where they brought it, and it was like 15 minutes before the game, and I'm like, I know somewhere in this series I'm going to be really hungry, but right now I just don't have the time, and I'm not going to rush through Chipotle.
Exactly. You got to enjoy that. You got to
savor it.
Indeed, indeed.
So thanks for reminding me. I appreciate it. You know, right?
Yeah, we will certainly be going to a break after this game.
I'm trying to focus on the game.
Yeah, we need to prepare for our next series. There's a lot of notes I need to look over, some Dota buff statistics. Exactly. Yeah. Alan sent me a dissertation, 34 pages long, on why supports with XP talents are in fact meta.
Okay.
Because when Warlock,
for instance,
hits level 15 at like 32 minutes into the game, he gets 60% XP. So right
he's
there,
level 25.
Yeah.
Like
who cares about the first 30 minutes of the game?
Yeah. I mean, supports, their relevance is late game.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not.
The laning phase is overrated.
Irrelevant. Irrelevant. You know, that's what they're built for, the scaling aspect. But the Warlock, another very strong laner. Both teams are, I mean, very powerful laning stage to sustain as well as the harass from both teams. And they go for the Abaddon, the pick that we saw banned out from OG last game. Just makes fights easier. A hero they can't go on at the start of the fight. And removes all the initiation from the other heroes. But they're lacking catch on the side of OG.
So they're significantly lacking catch, and they have very limited options to really fill that gap. I think you almost have to pick something like
10 seconds remaining.
I don't even know. Do you go like DK? I have no idea, but I will say that I already really like the look of IG's draft. I think that you can just play around this gyro super easily right now, and if he gets ahead like he did in that last game, you're gonna have a really tough time taking him down. Feels like team fights are a lot easier to execute for them, and as you said, not only is the catch lacking for OG, but the damage output is quite low as well.
Yeah, they have the Maledict from Witch Doctor, but that only works if you do damage in the first place. So with the damage problem as well as the catch problem, I just feel like they are kind of pigeonholed with this last pick.
Yeah. I'm not really sure what they go for here either. I mean,
I would be doing a BSJ Ursa special right now for sure.
You would be doing a BSJ lose the game in 3 minutes and blame team as well. This is not an Ursa game.
You don't like the Ursa game?
You're just gonna feed. I mean, it's not terrible, but I think you just feed. I think that PL pick could have been quite nice. That's
PL's
the type
always
of hero
very
they
strong
want.
against the Beastmaster.
Yeah, the BSJ PL wins this game.
Okay, I can
The
believe
BSJ
that.
Ursa thankfully loses the game quickly, so Kyle doesn't have to
at
like
least
sit there forever.
we can go get Chipotle.
That's true.
That's the strategy.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm sure OG's employing some semblance of that if they do end up picking it. I just thought of Ursa because the damage, but in terms of the single target to enable the rest of their lineup, but I don't really. I don't know. These are the kind of spots in drafts where I try to learn something because I feel like do you when you watch these drafts, are they gearing up towards a pick, or are they just kind of, now that we're here, what do we pick with this lineup? Because I feel like they need they could do IO Lesh, but I don't think that's like a traditional farming duo.
They might Ember here.
Ember, huh?
Ember or Quap. That Stormband tells me that that's probably the direction they're going.
You think it's gonna be like a safe lane Lesh then, or you think there's just limited laning options against the Beastmaster dual lane?
I don't think you want to put Lesh in the safe lane. You have damage issues. You don't last hit for shit against a Beastmaster hitting for 20 more damage than you do.
Yeah, I just look at Ember and it's like, he got that one base armor, but that's not going to make any difference.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like Ember either. Like as you said, they are pigeonholed, and that's part of the reason I think they're taking so long to make this pick, because what do you take? Oh, yeah, it's Sniper. That's what it's going to be. But they're thinking, oh, is there anything better? And I'm not really sure, because that doesn't really sound that good either. But it does at least give them the win condition.
Having a
right?
Sniper is a relatively scary combo.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's just scary because you have no real frontliner. Like
and they still lack reach too.
Yeah. There's no reach. There's no real stun.
Oh, okay. That does offer them the catch.
I like that. Yeah, I'm sad I
can't believe
didn't
I
see
didn't
that
say
one
that.
coming.
Yeah.
If there's any hero, for real, I'm not the Slark guy.
I mean,
like,
when I'm looking at the draft, I've only got a 4-hero pool.
Yeah,
Peel's already gone.
Like,
Nace is banned out.
Just run through it. And
I got the Ursa. I had a 50-50 shot, you know. But I do like the Slark pick. I think that, you know, the buff to his HP regen does make him a decent laner. He is a solid Wisp pairing, I guess. And the Ags, we may see that come into play again, makes him and the Wisp invulnerable. They're not invulnerable, but invisible, so not targetable. I will say the gyrocopter missile is quite annoying as a Slark, just because it used to not hit you when you're in your ult, but now it does. But with the Abaddon, that extra tankiness in the mid game, if he gets that early Shadow Blade up, he will be able to participate in fights despite all of the damage from IG. And heroes like Warlock hate Slark.
You also purge the silence, the roar, the fatal bonds. Like, it's just a great hero in this game, and it gives them a win condition. And as you said, when you have the Abaddon as well, you have 2 methods of cleanse. It's just so nice. And
I'm ready for the Void though coming out from IG.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
The pick. They have the Skywrath gyro mid. And it just owns Slark. And they don't have any catch.
Yep, you need something that's uncleansable, for sure. That just, like, kills the Slark. Oh, I don't know about that one. That's not terrible. I mean, aggressive, man. IG is literally just back to TI5.
Yep.
Like, that's the strat. Give aggressive the PL, the Ember, the Gyro. He's going to make plays do work. And this whole game to me is on No Tail and his performance. Like,
Their eggs are all in one basket.
Exactly.
Sure. But hey, that's what we kind of said they needed to do, right? They needed to pick a player and just say, we're prioritizing you. And the thing is that all 3 cores of OG do rely on a good start. Abaddon's not really a hero that is just, you know, sack him and let him do his thing. I don't think that. I mean, he will do his job with a Phonic Shield, but I feel like they don't want to be grouping up early. And if they have any of their 3 cores have a rough start, none of these are the best. Like, Slark's not a comeback hero. Abaddon's not the best comeback hero either. But if they get a good start with Slark, he can definitely open up the map with the Shadow Blade. I just feel like the idea that I liked about Void was that it's a hero they can't really kill. And the positive about Ember is that how do they kill him? If he gets off to a decent start, he will be able to snowball this game. So am I officially obsing, or is it you?
It's me.
Okay.
Wait, nope, you are.
Okay.
It was me. Now it's you again.
It looks like Twitch chat voted me in. Or we'll maybe, you know, misclicks. But we do have the second game on the way, and Wisp on the opposite side here. We saw the power of the Wisp in the first game, and No Tail is rocking some serious cosmetics for the Slark. I admire that very much. The hats are very important. We also have the Golden Scepter on Baboka for IG. He has the Null Talisman starting items, no regen.
Null Talisman Mango. This is what we saw from a lot of people at LAN earlier as well. And the pounce right away onto the sky. Is he dead? Yeah, he's DE double dead, actually. And they're going to give the first blood to No Tail, it looks like. Oh, just kidding. Jarek's like, nah, bro.
Is that his bottle, or no, he has other items? Okay. He actually almost has a bottle if he elects to go for that first. Last game we saw the Soul Ring rush, though.
Yeah, you should, if you double-click Hero Portrait, by the way, you just auto-follow camera.
Is that how you do it?
Yeah, that's like the next level obsing.
It's not.
No, like the Hero Portrait.
Oh, down
like
here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what I was actually
go.
trying to figure that out earlier. I'm not going to lie to you, so nailed it.
Well played.
Thank you.
Then you can like select a different hero up top and then double click their portrait and you'll just swap over to them.
Wow.
The obs guys have that all hotkeyed, which is why Webus and Scriff and JJ they just make it all look so smooth.
Wow. Okay, I mean that's just a mechanical limitation that I can't help. Bottom lane, they are gonna.
You do have a lot of mechanical limitations.
I mean, something's got to hold me back. But they don't manage to get the kill on either side. But a lot of damage done to Jarex at the start of the game. He was forced to pop a salve as well in order to live there. He will have the bottle coming out because of that first blood, though.
Yeah, that's huge, too, because otherwise that salve would be very, very devastating.
It's double the value.
Yeah, exactly. Now you have the first blood, so you just get a bottle, you're going to be fine. Although, the change to the bounty runes, I didn't even think about that, but that's like a big nerf in some ways to these heroes that needed the bottle. The pounce onto the Skywrath right away, the stun's going to come out, but he's just dead again, isn't he?
And this is important. Like you said, you can't trade with these type of Beastmaster duel lanes. You can only kill them.
Yep.
And that's exactly
you
what
kill them
right
and you try and use that window where they can't spam you down to just outlast hit them, get some denies, and then you just keep killing them. Like, you really can't do anything else, and this is the advantage of having a Wisp in the lane where he can do this, but he's also free to bottle, maybe run it middle. You can continue to rotate and play every lane versus being forced to tri-lane here. And up top, it's Abaddon versus Warlock Ember. Like, these heroes don't really threaten you too much. And mid is Lesh versus Gyro. It's the same story. So all the lanes for OG definitely looking a bit better than they were in the previous game.
As long as they relieve the pressure from the safe lane, I think everything else will kind of just fall into place.
Yep.
Against these Beastmaster lineups, he's a hero that if you let him get a slight lead on your carry, the supports don't do enough damage to bring him down, and the carry can't lane against him solo. So they get the level 2 on the Witch Doctor with the Maledict. Should be enough damage with the Pounce, plus the Essence Shift coming out from No Tail. And they're doing exactly what they need to do. But the pull is blocked, so the lane is going to push into this Beastmaster. But I don't think they care with these kills. That's just going to rack up real quick. The Wisp has the bottle, stacking up the camp, or not stacking up the camp, looking to pull the camp. And I don't think there's anything IG can actually do about this. So that's a huge deal for them.
Yeah, it's big, because now they get a bunch of denies off this wave as well. And you can see, like, the Beastmaster's so afraid. He's still only level 1, and the Tether plus Slark just is such a huge threat, because if you just land that, he's going to be near dead already. If the Witch Doctor were to show up and help out a bit, as we've seen a couple of times now, he just goes down immediately.
And neither of these other 2 cores on OG are suffering for this. Usually when you put the tri-lane in the safe lane like this, you risk one of your other cores having a really rough start, but Abaddon and Lesh are doing just fine in the other lanes.
Yeah, I mean, Warlock starting mid would help his Gyro significantly, but he can't, because then it's Abaddon versus Ember, and the Abaddon will just body this Ember out of the lane.
He's actually out-leveling him already, 3.5 to the level 2.5 of aggressive.
Yeah, it's definitely smart laning matchups from OG, and they're just playing this game properly. You can see Skywrath is actually TPing out of bottom. He's just abandoning the Beastmaster. Like, this is already a critical situation for IG, because Beastmaster simply cannot play Dota 2 if he does not have the ability to lane. He is very much a feast or famine offlaner. If you're in the lane and able to pressure it, you're going to be doing great. And if you're zoned like this, you really don't have a recourse to find your own foothold in the game.
And I feel like Slark's the same way from the carry role, so now he's going to be completely independent. At some point, the supports from OG can just rotate to another lane if they so choose, and this pressure, or lack thereof, from IG on the Slark lane, from my experience, it will snowball to other lanes. We do see the engagement in the mid lane, lands the stun from S4, has the lightning again, will bring him down, so already a 4-0 score, only 1K lead for OG, but it feels worse than that.
And I think they're in a fine spot this game as well, as they're the only team with real save, and they're the team with the Slark, who the entire game is going to be able to hunt the IG supports so easily, plus the Gyrocopter.
And as we see here, the Wisp and Witch Doctor are already rotating to the opponent's safe lane here, and Slark can just do whatever he wants now. He's level 3, almost level 4, and Beastmaster's not even level 3 yet, so it's like you said, Beastmaster relies on that snowball, and now the other lanes are just going to become harder and harder to secure. Aggressive's behind in levels. They're looking to go on the Abaddon here, but the supports of OG are here, almost baiting this. They have the tether, but the regen is canceled from the Ember Spirit shield. They do bring him down, and Jerax will go down as well. So the bait into themselves, I guess, there.
No comment, but it's nice for Slark. Big Daddy No Tail in the bottom lane, just free farming it up.
Beastmaster just jungling. Value illusion rune, though.
And this, didn't we just talk about this? Like, this is what makes a safe lane, tri lane good, right? Where you can just secure the carry his lane, and now he can just, you're effectively winning 33% of the laning phase, like, without any effort, with no risk. Slark's just going to sit here, free farm, have a great time, and even if the Beastmaster comes back, he can't really threaten the Slark because he's 2 levels behind, and dies to +1 that shows up.
Yeah, it's the way I look at it is if both heroes are just laning against each other, one's immensely scared of the other, and the other one just doesn't care, and that's going to lead to the Slark playing much more efficiently as well as aggressively. And Slark's a hero that once he gets level 6, you can't win trades. They do go on the mid lane. They land the split Ursh from the Leshrac. Jerax tethering him up. They get the last right click off, but it's not enough damage. Jerax is running low. He gets the lightning storm into the stun from the Lesh, and Skywrath pays the price instead. But overall, I mean, this is really good for OG. Just XXS, even though he didn't die, he has no regen left, is forced to shrine up, and this is the effect of the safe lane. The supports no longer have to play there. They made that slight misplay top, but now they're pressuring mid with the catapult.
Look, what? Q just ran it? Okay, he should have died there. S4 being a lot more conservative than I thought he would, but no boots versus boots, so he didn't feel confident to make that play.
Who needs boots when you have tether, 360 moves?
Yeah, exactly. I think you can play super aggressive here on Lesh, and I love the core combinations from OG. Bottom lane, Beastmaster taking a bit of harass damage. He should be fine, but still just threatened almost level 6 on Slark, and then this lane gets very difficult for him. But I love Lesh Slark together, and especially with an Abaddon, both of those heroes love having cleanse on their side and that extra sustain. Like, if you don't kill these heroes, like, they just keep vomiting damage.
The Lesh does a ton of damage, and if Slark can disengage, the effective HP pool that he gets from resetting the fight is just insane. So going on S4 here with the gyrocopter, early rotation from the supports in the mid lane. I for a second thought that was a safe lane gyro again, but they just managed to get the level 6 and they bring him down. So we're seeing like every lane just feels like this is what the only way back in the game for IG. They're not going to farm the way back in this game. Lesh, Slark, and Abaddon are all snowballing farming heroes because Leshrac flash farms with his abilities, while Slark and Abaddon, if they're not threatened, they're just going to free farm the map and do exactly what Slark's doing bottom, looking to dive SRF underneath the tower, has the ultimate available, no gyrocopter ultimate, so they might just go on him too, honestly. But it looks like since he doesn't have the pounce, they will lose the Wisp in return. Gets the rocket stun.
Nota pops his ult too.
Yeah, not really that much of an investment since he has this 10 stick charge. It just means he's going to have to play a little bit more passive for the next minute or so. It's better safe than sorry on Slark in this case. I think there's a little too scared there, but Beastmaster's level 4. He doesn't even have to play passively with his ulti on cooldown.
Yep. And this is where you want to be if you're a Slark, right? Like, you're just having a great game.
Dream.
Treads Aquila. Now you just kind of chill, get a Shadow Blade. Then he just starts running around the map. And like we said, all game, the Skywrath level 3, this Warlock level 5, like, they're still just going to feed to a Slark if he finds them.
Every hero but the Ember Spirit at the end of the day is just going to be a liability. Like, they will feed to the solo Slark, so you're going to start seeing, once that Slark Shadow Blade comes online, it's going to change the entire dynamic of the game. But top lane, they actually go on aggressive. Caught it with that kill there. He just got his ultimate, and they're actually chasing further. I will double-click the hero portrait for the sick camera movement, but that doesn't even show me anything. So Baboko will go down in the trees, and
gets the creep wave for them as well. And Abaddon just pushes top of the
yeah, and Abaddon with that, he only has the 1 point up in Curse of Avernus, but it does make you push towers quite fast because it gives the bonus to the creeps, and even though he doesn't have a point in Edict, I mean, just look at the way IG has to play. Gyrocopter looking to force a fight, but he gets stunned by the Leshrac, and he's going to go down to this damage, I believe, and he does. And aggressive comebacks in, gets the turn kill on the Wisp. Abaddon pops his ulti in order to stay alive, but Witch Doctor is going to go down, and so is the Abaddon here. Actually, he gets the deny. Tactical.
Yeah, that was actually sick from S4. He went over, bought Arcane Boots, and then gave them to Abaddon so the Amanda did deny.
Wow, okay. Yeah, those are the plays that us casual players don't notice.
It's all right. I'm used to, the high skill maneuvers.
Yeah, you're
the
looking
next
for
levels,
yes.
so to speak.
Yeah.
Oh, bottom lane, tether onto the creep. This could be a dead Beastmaster. The pounce lands.
No roar even. Yeah, he's still level 5.
That ult I like from No-Tail just to secure the kill.
Might go
Will he
down
be
here.
okay? Okay, I lied. That was a bad ult from No-Tail.
Oh, he is alive for now.
Oh.
And
But no, oh my,
Rip.
whoa, 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 whoa,
Wait.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
I'm busy looking at the item choice while.
Whoa. I'm putting myself in timeout.
For what? The item choice?
I'm not commenting on the item choice from the Slark.
Oh man. I think. I don't know. I think I'm gonna ignore that item choice for now. We'll see how it plays out. We talked about that they're not just putting they're not willing to commit to one core being the core of the team, and I think this strategy works when you have that all-star mid player that you're looking to be the center of your entire draft while they farm up on a hero like Invoker when you saw Ana as well, and it's just not going to work. We'll see.
I'm not saying that, I'm a better Slark than BSJ, but I'm saying that I wouldn't buy drums.
I wouldn't buy drums either, so...
I'm pretty sure when you're snowballing hard, you just buy shot. Like, this is my thing, right? I'm all for trying new things. I'm all for experimenting. But when I watch Crystallize and Ame just absolutely dumpster games as Slark, going the exact same items and style,
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
You just buy the Shadow Blade. Like, you can hunt 4 heroes in this game.
Yeah.
And if you ever find Ember without a Remnant up, he can't actually cast one when he's pounced because he goes to like that 0 move speed. Yeah. And like it's just the dream Shadowblade game, like the absolute dream. And instead of going drums, you just get the Echo Saber after the drums, and that solves those mana regen issues. If you want to farm, if you want some sort of scaling item early on because you don't want to just go hunting just yet, just buy the Echo Saber now, right?
Yep, and he gets the deny on the tower from aggressive, so that is 0 gold going to the side of OG. Big change from the last patch, as we mentioned from last game, and I mean, they're applying a ton of pressure, and the way I look at items like drums, these like intermediate Aquila items, like they help you apply pressure and they help you be more survivable in like your power curve is more linear, but if you don't need it, why? You know, like you can just save up for this Shadow Blade, which is going to completely change the game. And I think something you've mentioned is you like items that change the way you play. You like things that affect the entire status of the game, and I don't feel like this drums changes anything.
No, I think it just puts him in a position where he has to sit bottom longer. But at the same time, like, does it really matter because all 3 of his cores are online? I just think that he's not the one. His role in the game doesn't change till he has Shadow Blade.
Yeah, absolutely.
And his team is ready. They have Relocate. They have Lesh with that Vit booster early on, the HOD creep on a bad.
And he'd have it right about now.
Yeah.
And he'd be looping behind this tower just as he is, but he'd be having it.
But now instead he's walking in, and he's roared, and he's dead.
He is dead.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower
They get the tower though, so it's really just space created. I like the play because had he not died there,
they might have gotten the deny.
They might have like not killed anyone, and then maybe they like threatened his team or something.
Okay.
Like, there's a lot of things that could go wrong in a team fight when you have HOD, Abaddon, Wisp, and Leshrac with 1200 HP. Like, it's very possible. Maybe they kill the Abaddon.
Their heroes aren't strong
ult.
yet.
Yeah, exactly. It's just not. It's not really necessarily the time OG wants to fight, which is why they were grouped up there as 4 or 5 trying to force that fight.
Yes, exactly. I can't even take your sarcasm. But I don't know. It's just like he is looking for action in the bottom lane. He knows they have no roar, but I mean, it's just not that scary to have a Slark with drums go on you like that. He didn't even pop the active. He does get silenced, but gets the purge off. Pounce again in 4 seconds, but aggressive. He's not scared of this. He remnants. What?
is under attack.
The teacher is bested.
Dude. You know what it is? It's because you haven't played these heroes very often, right?
Yeah.
Like Aggressive's Ember in TI5 was legendary, but now it's been like 3 years. Maybe he just hasn't done it as much. And they give Gyrocopter to XXS. I'm not sure if I don't know. I actually just don't agree with the Slark pick personally, but maybe Aggressive doesn't. Or sorry, not the Slark pick, the Ember pick. I think you just they don't have an answer to Slark the entire game, so their only real way to win is going to be forcing some super positive team fight with like maybe some big fatal bonds, a Gyrocopter just going off. Ember looks like he's going to go for a Battle Fury. Like, I just haven't seen a game like this in so long. It's hard for me to read it.
They do get the initiation onto the gyro, land the Leshrac stun. He is going to go down, but the Warlock Golem brings down both supports quite quickly. And Aggressive gets the 2-man chains, uses the Aphotic Shield to purge on the Lesh, but he's going to go down anyway. Double kill for the Warlock, and that's just a wipe. And meanwhile, Slark is still working on that Shadow Blade, and I think that we're really seeing the impact of this item choice. He wants, like, his team wants to be doing this right now. And
you just
need to line up the timings. You need to line up the effectiveness of your heroes. And Slark is just not effective with this item choice. And the fact that what he benefits your team is the vision he offers. And the fact is you saw exactly what happens when you don't have that Shadow Blade on the Slark and why the item's so popular. You walk into the opponents and you just die. And they have the ability to kill this Slark before he gets these items.
The Ember, like, they go in the gyro, right? The Ember can get there because he has the bots. So he just TPs in and turns the fight around. Like, really well played by him in a lot of ways. The Q with the big Golem, Max Upheaval, which is an excellent spell. And while Abaddon does counter the walk in the laning phase, throughout the game, you remove the slow from Upheaval, but then it's immediately reapplied on the next tick, and it's based on how long the channel duration is, not how long it lasts on you. So you're still full slow.
Like
exactly.
Mechanics.
Yeah, so Upheaval just crushes Abaddon and other heroes and teammates. Like even Slark, you can remove the slow, but then you're back in it and you're screwed. Same with Lesh. Heroes that rely on mobility to actually stay in the fight. You just set up for the Ember Spirit to be able to just make plays easily. It's like Velociraptors playing with their food at a point. They're just boxed in. There's nothing you can do. You're stuck in the kitchen.
That's exactly what I was thinking about when I was thinking about that scenario. So that's crazy.
Yeah, and to your point, it's not even about necessarily, is this drums bad? It's just what does it do with this team? Because Slark isn't getting involved. The Ember connects, but Slark can't because he doesn't have the mobility item that allows him to just kind of find the Ember, who was maledicted with 1 remnant that wasn't activated just yet. So he just dies if the Slark's on top, but just isn't something that happens.
They are sneaking this Roche on the side of OG. Slark was creating a bit of space there, and this will probably, this will give him the gold for his Shadow Blade. Just the idea is, I think with the drums, he wanted to be active, and then I think he's realizing that the Shadow Blade was just a better item for that after he got picked off, and So it's kind of like both games. I think he's playing the right playstyle, but his items don't really, in my opinion, line up with what he's doing. And that's been a weird mistake, something I don't really see very
and you
often
can
from
see
a player
it's
like
like
Noto.
the old school OG, like this wouldn't be an issue because, I mean, maybe they would pick Slark anyway when Miracle was playing, like, when Ana was playing, but I think Miracle Slark won them a few games in Majors if I recall correctly, but they would be picking like the Alchemists, the Nagas, the Terrorblades, and they'd be making plays and moves like they have been as 4, but it's with different heroes that guarantee them the game later on and that look to connect. But I'm just a bit concerned that the Ember and Gyro could get out of control here because, once again, the Gyro BKB is completely uncountered and might just turn the fight. And keep in mind, IG's winning this game at the moment as far as gold goes. They haven't taken a single tower. They're down 3.
And that's just future gold.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They do try to go on the Slark bottom, but he does get the Shadow Blade off, and they do not have the detection to follow up. Kind of interesting mistake. They don't even have a sentry to place. And OG is collapsing on the mid lane, Slark included. He saw that they saw him with that ward. Shadow Blade's still on cooldown, but they're applying pressure in 2 lanes at once, so IG can't really do much about this. The Abaddon, like, that's why these offlaners build the Helm Dom, is it just allows them to solo pressure these towers. You dominate the catapult, does so much damage to the tower, over 50 damage a hit. And then it allows the Slark to rotate from lane to lane, whichever one he so chooses. And meanwhile, the Leshrac with the Aegis survivably putting pressure on the mid lane. Does have the Shadow Blade on the Beastmaster, no Roar though, so they do not have any way to lock them down.
Yeah, I like the pickup as well, or rather the skill build of the Abaddon, going for these tanky items. But maxing Q, you see a lot of Abaddons usually getting multiple points in the Curse of Awareness. I just don't agree with that. I think that the Sumail style, and I can't remember the Chinese offlaner that does it as well, you just, especially when you have a Slark and a Lesh, just 250 heal on these heroes, like just keep them alive every 4.5 seconds. Like that's an absurd amount of healing, and if you keep your cores alive, they're gonna just win you the game.
And unless they burst you in the Skywrath Beastmaster combo, they actually lack a lot of single target damage. They have the Ember Spirit, the Gyro, and the Warlock, who are all AoE damage. And so if you, that 250 bonus health for 1 target, that goes up in value on heroes like Leshrac, just because unless they die right at the start, which he has the Aphotic Shield to remove it, especially with his Aegis, despite what we talked about with the Slark build being a little bit awkward, I feel like OG just has complete control of this map, and even though they're down by 1k, I think it's only going to get better for them. But the thing is, they do have the Ember Spirit, who's not as afraid of anything. He just doesn't care. He can show in lanes all game, and the thing is, Ember Spirit's a hero that he deals with Slark in the capacity that he doesn't die to Slark. And one of the worst things about playing against a Slark is you can't separate. But the problem with Ember is he doesn't kill Slark unless he has follow-up, and Beastmaster Shadowblade's nice and all, which they're looking to get done here. They are smoking up, but No Tail's onto them. He's sitting in the trees. He'll know when they see him, so if he looks to react, which he does, get the Dark Pact off and the pounce, but he, oddly enough, goes for the TP without the ultimate. Little bit confusing there. Maybe he didn't think about the Beastmaster being there with the Shadow Blade, but gets caught out. The chains onto the IO into the back of the fight. He does have the full mech done on the IO. Has the sustain from the
Goodness
bad rock onto 4 heroes. Brings down both supports. Abaddon stranded. Forced to try to TP out, and he will get it. Ember Spirit wasn't quite in range of the chains, but
Radiant's top tower is
I am searching for a word to adequately describe my feelings on recent plays that have been made. I'm stuck between flabbergasted and befuddled.
what
I'm
about
not
Bamboozled?
sure which is more appropriate.
I think Bamboozoled's pretty good, too.
Bamboozoled's not exactly correct.
It's not what you're looking for?
I wasn't necessarily fooled. It's more of
Okay.
a level of confusion.
Okay.
And also, you have an Aegis Lesh who has just died. A solo TP in from Jerax. He's going to die as well because the rockets switched locations. And now Leshrac's in a lot of trouble. It looks like he's going to deny
Gets the
himself.
deny.
So, real quick, OG have taken what looked to be at least
Never refuse gold.
moderate advantage.
At least map control advantage.
And just giving it away.
Chucked it into the dumpster.
I haven't seen something like that since Game 1 of the Raptors versus the Cavs from earlier this week.
They
where,
do get the stun onto the Ember, so he will go. Okay.
All right.
I feel like there's a lot of uncharacteristic deaths.
I don't know what's going on, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Like, I'm not a. I try real hard to be a consistently positive and optimistic player. You know, very
PMA.
rare to flame, of
Yes.
course, especially when commentating on high-tier Dota 2 in a major. But there's some weird stuff going on.
This is, I feel like when we talk about this map control and our predictions of what we think is going to happen, that's based on people not dying when they're not supposed to die. And people are just kind of dying. Like, the Leshrac getting caught out by himself with the Aegis goes down twice. They even conveniently deliver the Wisp kill on top of it. And No-Tail just not take... Like, the thing about Slark is he has so many ways to live with his ultimate, Dark Pact, the pounce for the repositioning that pretty much what I've noticed when I play Slark is every death's a misplay. Like, you just did something wrong, and that's why I never die. But the thing is...
I thought you were going to say that's why you had a lot of deaths.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. We were going a different direction here, but we'll work on it. We'll get on the same page by the end of the
Hey, self-confidence, man.
Yeah, it's all about making sure that you believe in your own decision-making and exactly, the self-confidence. But it's just like, if he ult TPs before without the golem, he can just get out of anything.
Mask of Madness on Gyrocopter?
Was that a third item?
That was his third item.
I guess he's trying to like get the acceleration into the beak or into the butterfly.
All right, nice kill on Baboka. That's what I like to see.
That's exactly what Slark should have been doing, I feel like, from like the 12-minute mark.
Yeah. I mean, theoretically, OG's still in a great position in this game. The pipe on a Baden, you got Lesh with a Bloodstone and a Yules. They're super far ahead at this point. Nice play from Aggressive there, just spamming out with the Remnant, getting away safely.
Make sure you're pointing in the direction of your hero, and they will look to turn this with the Beastmaster Roar. The IO Relocate is deployed, and it will not get off, but they do kill the Beastmaster. Leshrac going to go down as well, no deny available. Has no ultimate on the Slark, so no good way to chase. They do have the Golem in order to turn this if they so choose, but he just uses the upheaval.
Yeah, I mean, Gyro's still quite fat at the moment. Ember as well, but I feel like if you're IG, you need this game to go a bit later for you to have a chance at winning it.
This is the point of Ember, though, is he should be able to play like this with no fear. And
yeah, theoretically, they don't actually kill him until Hex. They have no way of killing Ember with a Remnant up before they get a Hex on the Lesh. Or potentially like a Basher or Abyssal on Slark, but I don't think that's realistic, nor something he wants to get too early in this sort of game.
I would say he wants to play a kind of selfish game because that's what Slark generally wants to do, but of course he built these drums, so I'm not exactly sure. It's kind of interesting because I just feel like Slark's probably the most selfish carry in the game. That's my opinion. Like, you just build everything, whatever makes your game easier to play. And so I feel like, in my opinion, it should be S4 building the catch for the Ember, not the Slark. He just wants to go like Scotty, BKB, these type of items, make it just better to play the game. And since he has the Abaddon, he can probably shy away from the BKB for a little bit longer, but at the same time, they just have so much magic damage.
I mean, I think you just buy Scotty, though.
Yeah,
I think it's just so core on Slark. Every time I see him go for a different item, I feel bad.
They get the Beastmaster Shadowblade Roar. Really hard to keep up with all the different pickoffs going on around the map, but Slark is scouting out for potential stragglers. Oftentimes, people will separate after the kills, so he's checking to see if IG was foolish enough to do that. Ember did go for the Battle Fury, something I saw earlier but didn't get the chance to point out as fights were going on. He is going this physical damage build, has the Yasha. I know you love the casual Yasha on carries in general. That's like your big go-to.
I feel like I would have preferred to see, I don't know about a Blink Dagger. Maybe a Blink Dagger just because you can find the Wisp and the Witch Doctor so easily. But I don't know, maybe a BKB, yeah. So he's going to go BKB next. I felt like he could have just gone BKB immediately, perhaps, and just found more fight timings, because I think if you're IG, you need to make sure you can contest the second Roshan. It's going to spawn in 2 seconds. OG probably looking to set up for it already. You have a DD on Slark. He's going to invis through.
It's going to be out soonish.
Yeah, it's just this game, it's just been a strange game, doesn't it feel? Like
uncharacteristic deaths completely change the pace of any game like this, and I feel like both sides have had their unforced errors.
Yeah.
And like you said, I do agree. It just feels a bit awkward. But he is going for the Scotty on the side of No-Tail, so I think we both agree with that purchase. IG looking to finally take a tower at 25 minutes into the game. Gyro does have the Mask of Madness. Looks like Butterfly Complete. Really core item against Slark, especially with the MKB changes. Like, the MKB change overall was a buff to the item, but to heroes like Slark that purely relied on the attack speed, you just don't want to build that item. And a hero that relies on the right clicks for the Essence Shift, every attack makes you do more damage, and so that snowball effect is heavily slowed down. I can tell you from a Slark's perspective, you just do not want to deal with that Butterfly. And he either has it or... No, he looks like he's the Evasion Talisman away.
That makes the mask a bit better in my eyes,
Radiant's
because you're
bottom
probably
tower
going to always
is
go for that
under attack.
Titanic, and you can easily
Radiant's
split
bottom
into
tower
Butterfly
has
as well, so
fallen.
it's just never bad of an item. Oh, they get the stun on the Ember, but he's going to be okay. Could have been dead if there was a +1 there, but it should set them up for a Roshan. Does it feel like Slark should have more farm? Feels like he's like 1,000 net worth behind his Lash, and he was complete free farming.
He's a hero that if he doesn't get early kills off of that free farm, his farm speed slows down, because what he does is he gives you the map control by playing off map, and if they're all alive...
Well, he also went for the 10th strength into the lifesteal talent. Do you agree with that? I think in a free game like this, you always get the agility,
I
right?
feel like the only time I've ever taken the 10th strength is against Axe, because you don't want to die to the call in the duration with the blade mail dunk, but, you know, IG does smoke up looking to contest, but it is too late. I personally think No-Tail is playing this a little too defensively with his build, especially because he has the Abaddon on his team along with the Wisp.
Don't you feel like that might just be a microcosm for the issue with OG entirely, and part of why, while they've been a great team in the EU qualifiers, they're consistently, I would say, like a top 10 team in Dota.
They're just high-skill players.
They don't have that selfish player that all of these top 3 teams have.
The pizzazz, I feel like.
that you can trust to sort of take over the game, say, look, I'm the superstar, you know, give me this, give me that. Like, I will win us the game. And I don't feel like they ever have one guy saying that. It's more of a team effort. And the item timings, once again, as you said, like, they don't really add up, where you had Pipe finished on Abaddon for how long now? But when have we had seen a team fight forced? Not to mention he had Radiance queued up for quite some time now.
That could have just been a
Solar Crest. Yeah, exactly.
I don't even think
play
he's
the
used
game
the Pipe
this way,
to live, really.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even just not team fighting. Like, you can say, well, maybe he stayed alive split pushing with the Pipe, and maybe it's deterring IG from going on him, but...
I can see that. It's just that I feel like if you're ever going to buy a defensive item, you want to be using it ASAP and looking to make it useful.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it should just be anything that allows you to farm creeps faster.
Anything that accelerates your game. And the Beastmaster, I do like the Beastmaster build. He goes for the Shadow Blade for the pick-off potential on the map, because he is pretty much the sole source of kill potential while the Ember split pushes. And I like that. I like that most Beastmasters usually play lanes, and in this game, because he has the Ember, he's just farming jungle and being a threat off map. And Aggressive just doesn't care about Slark, and that's why Ember is nice against Slark when they picked it last.
Yeah, I also like that because they have 2 creep eaters, right? The Gyro and the Ember are going to be eating creeps for the entire game. There's no need for Beastmaster to be on lane control duty. It doesn't matter that he's 146, pretty low on net worth. He's doing his job, which is to just run around, make space, and just find kills.
So No-Tail is scouting them out. They have the ward on the high ground, but the sentry isn't close enough to see him. They do spot him eventually. And No-Tail has the cheese, so I have a hard time believing he gets bursted before the Abaddon shield or the cheese. But it looks like they want to take the fight on the side of IG, forcing it onto the Leshrac. He has the Aegis, though. The Abaddon shield removes the chains. BKB on Aggressive, being man mode fully onto the supports, but his BKB is going to expire, and Slark's already going on the back lines. And looks like IG looking to disengage here, and we're seeing that lack of catch coming from OG. It's really only on the Slark. And Gyro still has his BKB available, and a whole lot of nothing is happening so far. Roar is still available also, though. Golem onto 4 heroes. Roar onto the Wisp. They bring him... Oh, they will not bring him down because of the Abaddon shield. And Slark chasing after the Gyro. Beastmaster the first to go down. Gets the latch on the Gyro when he has no BKB. That Butterfly giving him so much effective HP, but if they get the silence off, they have no detection. Too late, at least, and they bring down the Gyro with the Leshrac damage, and he's also going to go down. Aegis is already gone. No deny coming out from the Bloodstone, and Wisp back into the fight. Slark loves these type of fights with the lifesteal talent, as well as just the utilizing the ult regen. Has 12 stacks already, racking them up, and that's a... Did the Wisp buy back there? Or did he just re-engage with the Urn Charge?
He just re-engaged.
Yeah, he barely lived because of the... Like, honestly, I think Mad was on point that entire fight with those shields. Saved the Leshrac originally, and now Aggressive being forced off of the tower. He's just not afraid of anything on No-Tail right now. He has the Abaddon shield to remove anything that puts him at threat. And as long as he's positioned close to the Abaddon as well as the Wisp, they can do all they want to him, but this just should not be enough, at least.
And they just have so much sustain. If they don't find kills immediately, there's just nothing you can do to take out these heroes. You have to, in the duration of the flak, find kills on somebody. But that's where the pipe comes in, right? Like, there's really just not much damage output coming out from the side of IG, and you can see No-Tail with stacks and a Wisp Tether. This is a melee Rax right here. Still not the most commanding lead for OG, but they're definitely in a winning position at the moment.
And Aggressive goes in with the BKB, but he has no remnants to get out of this, and they get the roar onto the Witch Doctor, who not the most important target in my opinion. Leshrac is incredibly tanky, No Tail's zoning out the Gyro as well as the Warlock, but they do bring down the Wisp. And the Beastmaster's also going to go down. What a chaotic fight. Slark is forced to ulti. He's super tanky because of the Abaddon, but Abaddon is silenced up, so he's not able to use his defensive spells on the Slark. XXS is chasing, but the relocate, buyback from the Wisp, not enough. He does go down, dieback from the Wisp. Wow. And the Bounty is spawning as well, so that's going to be a big gold swing for the side of IG, who, even though they're down a Rax, is up by 2,000 gold.
They got middle tower from creeps as well. And the dieback on the Wisp, so obviously not the greatest. They lose racks, but Slark losing all of his stacks there. That could have been a really nice turnaround had he been able to get to full health. And you can just see the resilience of IG and just how strong that Ember is once he BKBs. You just find kills, you find the CC, and then it buys time for your heroes to catch up. And I mean, that's a Butterfly Gyro running in Mask of Madness with 9 flak. Like, he's going to do oodles and oodles of damage.
And he's going Daedalus again as well, so
he also skilled cooldown this game instead of move speed. What do you think that is?
I'll honest, that confuses me. They do have the DD rune. The Radiance is done on Abaddon. He is getting gone on, forced to pop the ultimate before the roar, saving the roar until the tail end of that ultimate. No Slark, so they don't really have the turn potential, but XSS is getting low, forced to pop the BKB just in case. Ember's chasing for more, looking for the supports, finds the Witch Doctor, doesn't have detection though, so the Glimmer Cape, but the Wisp goes down to the Skywrath Mage Rod of Atos, Ether Lens build, does a ton of damage, possible to keep up with this. He does just TP out immediately after getting rooted. Slark looking to go in, but this is got to be careful here, maybe just getting some casual stacks from the Ember Spirit. Meanwhile, top lane, Leshrac is shoving it in and TP's out, forces the Gyro back with that lack of move speed. It is noticeable in these fights. Like it's effectively more than 50 move speed because he has the agility, so it's more like 55 move speed, and that adds up. And maybe he's like planning on going the global cooldown talent, so to shove waves, but I don't think they really need that. So it's a very interesting choice from the Gyro. Makes it what, a 20-second cooldown? Yeah, 20 seconds.
I'm a little concerned for OG because as this game continues, I think IG's advantage in the late game is going to be more pronounced just because this Warlock can get spells off the Skywrath just oozing out magic damage. If the Wisp, like if anyone catches the Silence with no save nearby, they're just going to die. And you can't fight an Upheaval. The Ember Gyro are eventually going to just make your supports unable to play Dota. You have Daedalus on both of these carry heroes from IG, and that I think is the time you got to be a little concerned if you're OG, because all of a sudden you might just start exploding. You aren't able to force these long fights that they've been utilizing to actually take advantage in the game.
At the end of the day, IG does want the long fights with their lineup. Like, yeah, they have the Beastmaster, like, burst damage with the Skywrath follow-up, but they have so much area of effect damage and just poke damage from the Ember, and they look like they're trying to force a fight on the side of OG. We'll find the Gyro, has the Scotty, but that Butterfly, the mischance, just being too much. Get the roar on the Wisp. He will go down. It looks like no, he will not just yet, but they do manage to have the damage. The Warlock still has not utilized Golem yet. This fight is, No Tail's already been forced to ultimate. Warlock positioned in the back. Leshrac isn't even here anymore. So they've just completely abandoned ship on the side of OG, just deciding to push lanes. Slark backs off. And I'm telling you, as a Slark player myself, it's just a worst nightmare to play against a Butterfly like this and not have the luxury to build MKB, because you rely on those stacks and the constant slow that you apply with the Scotty to stick onto your targets. And that Butterfly, you saw it there, he just missed like 2 of his first 3 attacks. And Slark can't play, but it looks like they're going to set up another kill, but they don't have the Beastmaster Roar just yet. Still on cooldown for 25 seconds. He's just chasing us forward, trying to get his team to follow him up, but the supports on OG are respawning. Bounty runes galore.
I'd say this game can still go either way, but I think that, you know, anytime I see a team that takes a Rax, right, but then they're unable to even pressure Shrines, you always just feel a bit bad that, yeah, you took the slight advantage, but what are you using it for now, right?
I mean, creeps only matter as much as their inability to clear them.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
They have the Ember Spirit Battle Fury. He has, it's no skin off his teeth to just teleport to that lane and do what he's doing in the top lane, just slide a fist at once.
No skin off his teeth, eh?
Yeah. Is that not the saying?
It's.
I felt like I was right. I had to think about it for a split second.
Wait. I don't know.
Meanwhile, Aggressive is getting gone on the top lane. Remnants, but that Scotty makes his Remnant not go very far. Oh, No Tail almost brought down by the damage from the Skywrath Mage ulti. Manages to pack it off last minute. Another split up fight. These fights are just so chaotic. Gets an extra few stacks. Has 18 Essence Shift, which is no joke from the Slark, but is going for the late MKB. Slark scales well into the late game, but not necessarily when they have these net worth distributions that they have. And I see Kyle Googling
It's no skin
off
off
my back.
nose.
Oh, what's it? There's something with your teeth, right? Maybe I'm just crazy.
I don't know, man.
NA language grammar.
Oh,
so
no. Okay. That's a sick upheaval, though. The Abaddon's going to be in a lot of trouble, even if he gets the shield and the ult off. As you can see, this Ember is doing so much damage with the BKB Gyro on top. The Warlock Golem. Slark is trying to find the Ember Spirit, but he's just going to leap away. Still spamming Slight. The Leshrack's BKB'd, but they've already lost both supports. No ult on Abaddon either, so he's a bit exposed if they get caught out here. Slark will find the Skywrath Mage. Silence as well. Onto the, oh my god, the Abaddon exploded at the call down, but the Beastmaster goes down, but look at the Ember continuing to spam damage. Leshrack going to Yules himself, but he's still in trouble. Scotty on Slark. He misses the pounce thanks to the Glimmer Cape, though. Rocket is on him as well. No ult on Slark, 50 seconds. He'll have Shadow Blade in 2. Will he get the Q off in time? Yes, he will.
Nice running back into the missile there.
Was close.
Has the 28 Essence Shift stacks, so if he can look to find a pick off, he will be able to kill anyone that's not the Ember. Obviously, most of their team is dead, but Roche is alive, so maybe they'll look to do that when they have their Abaddon, but by that point, the rest of IG will be alive as well. You just had to go Google that, huh?
I did. I mean, I wasn't sure, and honestly, I'm going to have to drink more caffeine after this match concludes, because I got 2 more series, and I have started to drift off. But that also could just be because you make my job easy.
Yeah, I mean,
I can just...
It's an aura. It's just a natural thing. I can't help it.
It's just this sweet melodies in your voice. They just lull me to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't. It's so hard to resist.
That's
in
why
fact,
I
might
make
take a
sure
nap
I
right now.
casually scream on my stream, because I know I just lure people to sleep with my seductive alluring.
We're going a little too far now. I don't know if you're seducing anybody, but some of the grandmas tuning in.
Oh my god.
But man, you'd make a great door-to-door salesman, though. Just show up in a sweater vest.
I'd sell Girl Scout cookies like no other. I'm not going to lie. But they do have the Daedalus complete on the Ember. He also has the Remnant Restore time talent.
Yep.
And
if
they just don't have to disable until that sheep stick off the Leshrack, and he's not even electing to go for it. So Ember's just going to have free reign in these fights.
I feel like both these teams need a sheep desperately, and neither team's buying it. You see the Skywrath running around. He had an Aether Lens, Atos, Aether Lens, Kaya. Now he's going to go for the Hex. I would like to see him go Hex instead of Kaya, personally, because once they get that, they can just kill this Slark over and over. Oh my god, poor Fly. He's just taking so much damage from the spam. Aurora right away onto Leshrack. He's in big trouble. Is he going to get taken out immediately? He gets the Yules off. No relocates being channeled right now, but Tether on cooldown. Tether on cooldown. No Tail at 900 HP. Ult on cooldown as well. And they're just sitting inside this upheaval. They're just going to die. Oh my god, what a...
That's over. That's game. They have no buyback on any of their 3 cores. And the damage is proving too much. And we saw the effect of that upheaval.
Upheaval, baby. Warlock's back.
He didn't even gall him.
No, he didn't.
And I really like the itemization from the Warlock here. I think the goal against heroes like Slark is just buy these items that make it so they have a harder time sticking on a target. The Glimmer Cape, the Medallion even.
I like the Beast too. Just pipe. Shadow Blade was excellent. We've seen it do so much work in this game, and immediately into the Vlads and pipe. Just team fight. And do they just go for Throne here?
I have to believe this game can be ended in the next 4
Yeah, I think you go for Throne. Yeah, this is what I love to see. Teams that go for the W.
Now that's playing to win,
That's
baby.
playing to win, baby. That's right. And, I mean, I love OG, Dream Green, but they're going to start this group stage 0-2. And obviously they're out of the running in the DPC points for that auto-invite to TI, but you got to think this is a pretty demoralizing game as they just essentially get wrecked by an upheaval. And, it turns their chances of winning from maybe 50-50. They got that key Rax, and then all of a sudden,
That.
yeah.
Like,
I don't know if I have words to really go into this. You have any thoughts on this? Because I don't know if I'm sleep deprived or what, but this just feels like a very odd game to watch. An odd game. OG.
I think it's the same thing from the first game, that their game plan just does not seem fluent. Like, they just don't have, like you said, they grouped up the mid lane with your immense amount of sarcasm, talking about how, like, OG's ready to go. They have the Leshrac Bloodstone. They have the Helm of the Dominator on the Abaddon, and Slark just has drums. And on his way there, he gets picked off. And that tempo swing, when he's free farming, I can tell you on these heroes is just it's game changing.
It was like a 5 that the drums pick up into the death is like a 5 to 6 minute window where they don't have the Slark connecting.
And he's their catch.
That Skywrath had 3 armor the entire game.
And he has
the entire game.
And he was farmed too.
Yeah.
And supports with farm is no joke. And you saw like in that last fight, even though the Warlock upheaval had massive impact, the Skywrath ultimate alone took off 3/4 of the Leshrac's health. And like when you have these type of games where you have a hero like Slark, I really liked it how it rounded out the draft. They lack the catch. They have to have that threat on the map because if you don't have the threat, the enemy team's just going to free farm. They're going to get all like even the supports. You're going to notice it in the net worth of the supports, and that delay on the Shadow Blade is not necessarily just a 5 to 6 minute delay on his effectiveness. It's a 5 to 6 minute acceleration of the timings of IG, and I think that they had too many heroes with too much impact in that game. I felt like every hero was scary, and the Witch Doctor didn't really do anything as the game went on. Obviously, it's not really Fly's fault based on his hero against, he dies to Flak and Slide a Fist. There no amount of positioning can save beyond that one. But when you look at these like Tier 2, Tier 1 S teams, like when you're looking to bridge the gap, whenever I look at these Tier 1 teams, it just feels like there's no holes. Like, they'll make mistakes. Maybe they'll take like missed team fights in terms of their abilities or something like that, but when you watch like the lack of synergy in the builds and the play of OG, like in this game we saw with the drum, I think the drum Slark was honestly, I don't like calling out one player, but that just changed the entire game. I think that literally at the start of the game we said they need to play around one player, and then they picked Slark, a perfect hero to play around, and they have the Abaddon, the Wisp. All he has to do is be,
the whole draft
the most powerful hero on the map.
Exactly, and the whole draft's built around activating this one guy that is then
and they
free
gave
to
him the
just,
start.
Yeah, it's 100% true. You can be cutting waves. Like the moment you pick up a Shadow Blade, your farm accelerates because you can now stay off map, cut waves aggressively, and you don't ever have that fear that maybe you're just going to get picked off.
You're never going to do what he did, where you walk in and get roared. And
exactly, and to your point, I think when you look at the top teams, what's most important is they don't make unforced errors and they don't make silly mistakes in thought, in drafting strategy, like terrible team fights, bad smokes, etc. Because with all these changes to Dota, I think there's so many more ways to lose games, but the number of ways to win games is still the same, which is you utilize wave clear, vision advantage, take Roche, take tier 3, you kill shrines, and close out the game. And you could see OG, they all in for that Rax at the bottom lane. They get it. They have a decisive teamfight victory. But instead of just ditching somebody, instead of backing, they linger. They end up losing 3. They're never even able to take shrines, and they're 5,000 gold behind, even though they just took a Rax. And now Gyro just outscale and kill everybody.
The buildings don't give that much gold anymore.
No, they don't.
So it's mainly for the map pressure of pushing the lane. And as I mentioned in the game, you have a Battle Fury Ember. They don't feel anything. Like, it doesn't change the way IG is going to play that game at all. So effectively, by taking the Rax, they lost 3 heroes, but the Wisp also diebacked. So suddenly, I mean,
there's a lot of miscues, and I think that there's a lot to take away from this game from both these teams. A big confidence boost for IG. Haven't had the most success outside of China, and that region's just so stacked. You know how hard it is to win a qualifier. Thankfully, they have 5 out of the 12 spots here, so we might look to see China make a bit of a run.
And while OG, like we said, they had some crucial mistakes. The Slark play, the Aegis with the Leshrac dying twice in the bottom lane, but IG looked solid. Like the items we talked about, their game plan, the way they executing team fights, and the drafts. I think their drafts are good too. And even if Ember didn't seem like the ideal pick to us, it fit, meaning like it gave them a hero that wasn't concerned about Slark, and it's an aggressive hero. So give him his comfort zone hero. He probably just said, "Give me Ember."
Yeah, I mean, hey, they're just turning back the clock. This is IG DAC. It's like they're playing with Burning. Except it's our boy Aggressive this time. Maybe it's C-Deck. Who knows? But we go wax poetic about this game for quite some time. But
we got some Chipotle.
I'm hungry, dying, need some caffeine. We're going to come back to you guys in probably 10 minutes or so with another matchup from the MDL Major. In the meantime, just sit tight, grab a snack. We'll be back soon with some more Dota 2.